the devastating school shooting that happened in Minnesota at Annunciation Catholic School. We're going to be joined now by retired Naperville detective Rich Wistocki. He is now the president of Be Sure Cyber Training. He's going to talk to us a little bit about what schools can do in order to prevent these types of school shootings and what we should be doing and looking at moving forward. Thanks so much for your time this morning, Rich.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
So the first thing I want to say is, was there anything in the preparation that some of the, administration could have been doing at Annunciation Catholic School to prevent what we saw happen a little bit earlier on this week?
Yes, absolutely. So what happens is, I train about 4,000 school resource officers a year across the country, and I also train about 300,000 students across the country as well. So in 2021, what you need to know is that the United States Secret Service had come out with their threat assessment survey study done by Dr. Altari. Dr. Altari found that over the last 12 years, 94% of the school shooters across the country, 94% had posted online what they were going to do before they did it. We call this leakage. And some of the failures of schools all around the country was that you have students who didn't know what things they needed to report what they were seeing. You have school officials and administration knowing this was going on, but they didn't know who to report it to or how to report it. And then the third failure, you have law enforcement who has no idea how to do cybercrime investigations. So what I did was that I took all three entities, students, the school administration being your IT, your social workers, your deans, principals, and superintendents, along with school resource officers, local law enforcement, and I put them together. In this 3-day class, I show them that they all have to be on the same page, because here's another failure that happened. When I start my class, I ask the SROs, how many of you are sick and tired of being the last one to know when there's a threat to the school? And they all raise their hand. I said, all right, keep your hands up. School administrators, do you see what's going on here? If you continue to not allow to tell law enforcement what's going on in your schools, you will get kids killed. And that's a fact. So in my class, I put everybody on the same page. What I did with my child exploitation, I've arrested over 400 internet predators in my career in law enforcement. I still do to this day. I'm also a deputy sheriff, a reserve deputy sheriff in Putnam County, Tennessee, where I handle all their cyber investigations as well. So what I did was I took what we do on child exploitation online and I put it over to the schools and threats. When I do that, what everybody has to understand is that the Electronics Communications Privacy Act of the United States says this: if death or great bodily harm is about to be committed or being committed now, any law enforcement officer who sees this can invoke the exigent circumstance protocol, which they will give us information on the person who is posting it within 1 hour. Once we get the IP, we find out what company is. Within an hour, now we're in 2 hours into this threat, whenever we see it, it takes us 2 hours to identify who this person is. So this class is a 3-phase approach. The object of this class is to give the student or the person making this threat the mental health help they need before the shooting starts. Now imagine, had someone alerted us to his gaming platforms, his YouTube channel, we would have been able to go to step 2, which is once we find out who did it and get them in custody, and we would charge them with terrorist threat. Because a lot of people say, well, he didn't do anything yet. What are you going to do to him? No. Making a terrorist threat that you're going to shoot up a school is a crime. So once we get them in custody and put them in hospital, we're going to go to phase 2. Where do people put their deepest, darkest secrets of who they are and what they do? In their social media. So I train my SROs and I train my school officials that step 2 is we're going to execute a search warrant on their social media, and there we will find their deepest, darkest secrets in planning. Once we see their planning, then we go to phase 3, which will execute a search warrant on their home to take the weapons or bomb-making materials that they may have. Now, last school year, the students who have taken my class throughout the country, we stopped 42 school shootings, and 11 of those 42 had weapons they were going to use, and we intercepted it before it even happened.
Wow.
We are 2 weeks in the school system right now, right? My SROs have already stopped 3 school shootings and have 3 arrests in the first 2 weeks of school.
Wow. That is a lot of positivity, because that could be dealing with a much different situation. So if somebody wanted to enlist the services of your school, what should superintendents, school boards, what should they be doing going forward?
So all they got to do is contact me go to BeSureConsulting.com, or better yet, go to mycybersafeschool.com, fill out the questionnaire, and believe it or not, all this training is free. The Homeland Security has a grant that they have given school districts in the state of Illinois. That this is a 2-day class. There's also a 3-day class that law enforcement goes through, but the 2-day class involving schools and law enforcement is all paid by the Department of Homeland Security. So all you got to do is contact me. We'll set it up, and we want to train your IT people, your deans, your principals, your superintendents, and all your local law enforcement. When it comes to doing stuff online on social networks and gaming platforms, no one online is anonymous. No one.
Rich, are you currently working with any school districts here in the Chicagoland area or across the state of Illinois that you could speak a little bit more on?
Yeah, sure. So I am one of the only Chicago Public Schools vendors that go into the schools. I do a lot of work with Intrinsic, love my Intrinsic kids. Disney schools, a lot of the charter schools will have our people come in. And believe it or not, I have 7 instructors, and they're all internet crimes against children detectives. And we teach our parent presentations in English, Spanish, Polish, and Arabic. And so we try to serve the Chicagoland community. Just to give you a little stat, last year we taught in 80 schools across the country. We taught about 300,000 students, and after our presentations, we had 40 kids come to us after the presentation saying, "That's happening to me. I don't know what to do, and help me." I just left Putnam County, Tennessee. I taught in 8 schools there. We had 5 victims, and 2 were with predators that were actively working. So it doesn't happen somewhere else. People can go on YouTube and search my name, Detective Rich Wistocki. A lot of my schools in CPS will get a recording of how I teach them, and they'll put it up on their YouTube channel. So if you want our team to come to your schools, by all means, just go to mycybersafeschool.com, and we'll be more than happy to help you.
All right, Rich, thanks so much for your time this afternoon. All right,
thank you so much. We got to save our kids.
Yes, we do. We definitely need to protect our kids, teachers, and administrators as well.